So here we have a Janome Memory Craft 9900, and it was just brought into my shop. And the problem with this one is that the lady said that the needle bent, and then now it's crunchy and difficult to operate. So if I turn it around, it doesn't want to come back up. The needle doesn't want to come back up. The needle's already been removed. I'm assuming by her. There could be a piece of the needle in there, I don't know. But right there, it doesn't want to come back up. You can go backwards and go to the top, and it's stuck there too. So we're going to take a look at this and see what we find. Before we get into cleaning, I just want to see if I can find what's binding this machine up. So we're going to take off the needle plate and take a look right here, because I think that our problem is going to be right in here with the bobbin case area. So let's take a look. Alright, yeah, so our bobbin case had moved around on us, which is what the problem was. It tried to twist around inside there, which is a frequent issue. So with many machines, not necessarily just a Janome, all kinds of machines, you can get this problem where that bobbin case tries to twist around in there and you end up not being able to turn. So now I can turn it all the way, but you can see that bobbin case is moving around because it wasn't seated in there just right. Also, part of it is this needle plate helps hold that bobbin case in the proper position. So once that's removed, this bobbin case will flop around. So when you get your bobbin case out, you want to take a look at it for needle strikes. Because this bobbin case twisted around inside there and the needle hit something foreign, right? The needle hit something because it bent. And you want to take a look at your bobbin case, and if you look at this bobbin case right here, right up in here, you've got some needle strikes on the bobbin case. So now the next question is, well, what causes that? This is one of those things it gets worse and worse by itself. So that this bobbin case started working its way around, so we had some clearances that weren't right inside of here, and the bobbin case started working its way, like wiggling too much. And then once you get a section here where the needle strikes it, then your thread is going to catch on this, because the thread goes around this bobbin case for every stitch. It goes completely around here, and if there's any rough edge like we have right up here, then it's going to catch that thread, and then that thread is going to try and twist this thing even more and give you more of a problem. And that's what happened. Then when you try to pull your material out, you've got all kinds of loops holding the material in there. So it's stuck in there. You got to cut the threads to get that material out. Alright, so you have a bobbin case where you have needle strikes on it, and you want to figure out why, because you got to fix it, right? So right now we have to wait for a new bobbin case to come in for this machine. But we want to look and see if we can figure out why this happened, because we're going to have to fix it. That's our job, right? So if you put this in here, depending on the machine, there are different adjustments for this bobbin case, but you should just see very little movement from side to side. Now, like I said before, a lot of times on these machines there's something on the needle plate that's keeping it in its position. So we're going to put that needle plate back in. And now we're going to look at this, and it doesn't move from side to side. In fact, if I try and push it really hard, it doesn't want to move. So that's good. A typical problem that I will see on machines is this right here, and let me get another camera. So a lot of times I will see a problem with this right here. So this is a spring. It doesn't look like one, but it is. And you notice how the bobbin case has a little nub right here that, let's get an overhead view. So this piece right here is what presses on this every time a stitch is made. It goes like that. Okay, and then when it releases, that's when your thread comes through, because your thread goes around this whole bobbin case every stitch. So every stitch just goes over, comes back, your thread's going to go through there and makes a stitch. I have seen on some machines where this piece has been pulled out and is on top, and somehow just, you know, thread got stuck in there or something and it got pulled out. In this case, this one looks just fine. So you should see just a little bit of air in there, a little bit of gap, and that way this thing can operate normally. So this one actually looks pretty good. So now we got to figure out what our problem is. Well, we know that the needle bent because the customer told us that, so something was pulling on something that it shouldn't have been. So if this looks okay, because our adjustments for the things that are holding this in place seem to be working, we want to look up. We want to look up to our thread. We have the dreaded spool. Not only do we have the dreaded spool, we have the dreaded spool with the incorrectly placed spool retainer. Okay, these spools are terrible, especially for a machine like this. Now the machine was designed to overcome the issue with these spools, but it doesn't do that when this is installed incorrectly, so that is not right. So the person using this machine just put that on there because that's how it holds the spool in place. It looks like it works. Okay, we're good to go. Well, there's a reason that this is designed the way it is. Let's look at this spool. As that thread's coming around, there's this little part right over here. You see that little split right there? Yeah, let's take this off and look at it. Alright, here's that same spool. See that right there? That's where, when you're done with your spool, you take your thread and you pull it up through there, and it is designed to, if I can do this, it is designed to be able to hold that thread. That way when you go in your drawer and you want to grab this thread, you know exactly where the end of the thread is. Great design. Except if it gets caught in there while you're sewing with your machine, you have a problem because your thread doesn't want to let go. And where does that usually manifest itself? Well, with that much tension, it manifests itself by pulling your needle to the side. It actually pulls that needle over because the thread can't go anywhere, and now the needle is moving up and down, and as it moves up, that needle, or down, that needle is getting pulled to the side by this thread that is not going to move anymore. So the needle is stuck between the thread that's already in your fabric and the thread that's up in the top. So what the machine, so that's not good. So what these designers of these machines have done is they've made this really nice little side loading bobbin. There's two ways to fix this, right? One, you could have a top loading thread, well, it's not a bobbin, but you know, the top loading spool of thread. But since this is side loading, what they did was they gave you this. So this piece is designed to prevent your thread from catching on that little mark, and so that is supposed to go like this. See how that overlaps your thread? So now when it pulls this thread, I gotta actually get the thread out from there. The way this pulls your thread is it pulls it to the side, and as that thread is going around here, it is not going to get stuck on the edge of that spool. Whereas if this wasn't here, as that thread is being pulled, one, it's going to try and pull this, right? So one purpose is to actually keep the spool there, but the other one is when this is coming across like this, it may get stuck. And see how it kind of got stuck? It didn't quite get stuck because I'm doing this one-handed, but it'll get stuck there, and when it gets stuck, now you have tug of war down here with your needle trying to move up and down and move that thread. And so the needle gets pulled to the side, and your tension, so it's actually tugging on this, right? Because now your thread is wrapped around here. You have a lot of tension going on, and it ends up causing this guy to try and rotate around, and it jumps through there, so it may cause damage right here because it's going through this thing right here. It may cause this adjustment to go off, and it also causes, since you have a needle strikes in here, now when you figure out, oh, something's wrong, and you put it all, take everything out, you cut out all that thread, and then you try and sew again, it's not going to sew anymore because that thread is going to keep getting stuck in here. It's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. In this case, this was stuck over to the side in the wrong spot, so then the machine wouldn't turn. So for this machine, our fix is going to be replacing this, making sure that it is in tolerance here and adjustments. We're going to clean the machine like we normally do, and then we'll be off and complete.